Alright, hello, welcome to my fourth match of the league here. So looking at the board, it's a bit dry in that there's no plus buy, but there's a couple gainers. There's three: Talisman, Remake, Smugglers. You could also go on ill-gotten gains, but that just gains you coppers, which isn't too exciting. So I have player 1 here and open with the 5-2. So a couple options for me on the 5-2 really. Remake, nothing. Apprentice, nothing. Go ship, nothing maybe. Also, I was wondering during the opening, how does Crown Distant Lands work? You don't get 8 points, right? I don't think you get 8 points from Crown Distant Lands. Yeah, so it seems like with the lack of plus by Smugglers is going to be quite important. That's probably the most reliable source of gain on the board here. Remake is limited, as is Talisman. Smugglers is limited too, but less so than the others, I believe. And so my opponent is going to open with 1 alongside his Remake. I agree 100% with his opening there, is what I would have done on 5-2. So I'll draw 2 coppers again here, a little bit of deja vu. Could be bad, could be good, depending on what I draw on my next turn. If I get 5 copper on my next turn, I won't be too unhappy taking another Apprentice, but I don't. My opponent remakes a estate on a copper here. He picks up a silver off of his remade estate there. So I have a couple options here now. I can not trash and go for the remake. Definitely viable, or I can trash and pick up my Smugglers now. So when there's Smugglers in the game and your opponent has a Smugglers, you need to be aware of that Smugglers. You need to have an idea of where it is in his deck, or if you're not sure and you want to buy something, you should at least keep that in mind. Are you okay with your opponent getting a copy of it? So I am going to choose to trash there and pick up the Smugglers. So here, what is the game plan? Like the long game here? Well, I'm not really sure. You would probably just get a lot of money and buy provinces and play a ghost ship. That's important. I want to play ghost ship on my opponent and then see what happens from there. There's no real remake tricks on the board, right? Not really a whole lot of things in that regard. So it really looks pretty straightforward. You just want to buy money. Distant lands can be smuggled, so you could go for that, but then you'd be trading distant lands with your opponent, and it'll eventually come onto provinces anyway. So I end up with another $5 hand here. I bought a silver, so pretty happy that it comes into play here and gets me to 5 rather than to 4. And it could be another apprentice. I think about that for some time, but again I could go back to the other options that I had at the beginning of the game, which would be the remake or the ghost ship. Ghost ship puts in quite a bit of work on this board, on most boards anyway, because you could play it reliably and that reduced hand size is an issue. Here, there is library that kinda mitigates it, not really though, it doesn't. Like you could put 2 action cards back and then that you don't want right away and then use library to discard it. That is the best benefit. Other than that, library will draw the same number of cards up. I choose not to go for the remake. I instead pick up another apprentice. I am gonna be slow on the trash in here with the apprentices. The remake can get 2 cards out, whereas the apprentice can only do 1 at a time. I am planning to pick up a remake soon though, so maybe I'll catch up. Also, the apprentice is good draw. Is good draw. So there's that going fit as well, right? So like when you trash with apprentice, you go through 3 stages. I find the first stage is the happy stage. You know, you trash your estate, you move forward, you're able to buy 4 or 5 course because there's no estate in your way. Then you get to the sad phase, where you have to use your apprentice to trash coppers, and that's really not at all attractive or good unless you have something that takes advantage of a reduced hand size like a watchtower. That's the sad phase. But then once you get through that phase, and you have to go through that phase, otherwise you just have coppers in your deck until the end of the game, and that's generally not good for reliability. Once you get through that phase, you get back to another happy phase where you could trash things from your deck that you don't particularly need. Like, on this morning, you might trash a silver or something and then draw a lot of cards off of it. Um, that is what I'm going to do here. I don't want to be in the sad phase or the unhappy phase. But you do have to go through it at some point. At some point, you do have to go through that phase and get rid of things from your deck. So, okay, I had an interesting option here, right? Like, I was thinking about trashing the silver. Instead, I chose to trash the Apprentice. Now, I could have gone to trash 2 coppers there, go through the sad phase, but I wanted to extend my happy phase, so to speak. I was looking for my Smugglers on my remake. That's what I was doing. Because he bought a ghost ship, and I really wanted a ghost ship. I didn't want to be the only one on the attack. So that's what I went looking for. And I only found one of those cards is Smugglers. So that's a little bit bad, right? If I was able to find the remake there, I would have been in a real nice position. I would have been pretty happy about that. But I am able to at least smuggle the ghost ship. And I buy a crown here, which my opponent smuggles. He picks up a second Smugglers as well. So he has a crown that he smuggled off of me. I have a ghost ship that I smuggled off of him. So uh, we both building this kind of injured here. I think crown is going to be quite well. It is always useful, right? It's a throne room at worst. A throne room is nearly always useful. So couple quiet turns for both me and my opponent, just cleaning up with a remake a bit here. I'm able to see my ghost ship earlier before my opponent, so that's excellent news for me. I'm going to crown it. I could have chosen not to do so, just to play it for 2 cards and the attack. I was probably going to draw into money, but not guaranteed. I'd like to hit at least 5. Well, obviously, you see there's no action card costing more than 5 on the board. You don't really want gold yet. I still have to clean up. Because I'm a little bit behind on the trash and using the Apprentice, and I'm not using it to take care of the estates or anything, right? I just trashed one of my apprentices, actually. So I am behind on the trash in front. I'm going to pick up another crown. And my opponent gets a farming village there. So here I have a couple options on my remake, right? So I could get rid of 2 coppers is what I was thinking. And that would decrease the size of my deck, make my deck more reliable. If I trash instead the estate, right, I would have to take something like Smugglers or Silver. It'll be replacing the card with something else. I could also trash the Silver, get a farming village out of it. That's not bad, or another remake. So there's quite a few options here. At least I will kill 1 copper. Like if I kill copper estate, I can buy a silver. Do I really want the silver? I don't think I want the silver. So instead I go for the thinning play here. 1 copper, the silver goes into a farming village. So I don't know if that's right, but I was just trying to balance like when to trash in the sad phase with the opponent, meaning to get rid of, with the apprentice, sorry, when to get rid of the coppers and when not to fall behind on gaining key cards from my opponent. It is tricky, and maybe really you should just be concentrating on trashing, but I want to live on the edge. This is what I mean, right? I could be very conservative here, double trash copper, smuggle farming village. I'm not gonna go for that play. Actually, I'm going to kill one of my smugglers, and I'll kill a silver, looking for ghost ship and remake. I also have a second smuggler, so I was looking for that too. And I actually am able to draw into quite a bit of stuff here. I should be able to see my remake, I do, so this is actually a pretty good turn for me. I'm going to choose here to double smuggle the farming villages. My opponent picked up quite a few of them via smuggling. I think he has 6 right now, and this will give me 4. And I am going to remake here. I think I get rid of the estate at this point. Yes, I do get rid of the estate because I want a second smugglers in my deck. I want to have at least as many gains as my opponent. Usually you want to have more, right? So I do pick up a couple of farming villages, and I'm gonna pick up a smugglers here, and obviously the copper gets trashed into nothing. No poor houses on board, right? No poor houses on board. So many times I've bought remake with this poor house on the board, and bad things have happened. So with the three that's left, I believe that's a silver I pick up. I'm running out of actual money in my deck, so I need to put that stuff back in because I've been trashing silvers and whatnot all too happily. So another quiet hit for my opponent. He actually turns in one of his silvers for a remake there. So that's a bit of an interesting play. And here I'm gonna kill the farming village, and this is a disappointing draw. I was really hoping to draw into better cards, but I drew three coppers. Those are probably the only three coppers in my deck. So really looking for another farming village, the ghost ship, I draw the coppers. Didn't even just see the remake, which is awful. So now I have a choice of how many remakes do I want to smuggle off of this man. And I actually smuggle like all the remakes that I could. Why do I do that? Well, it's apprentice food, and it also gives me some tricks at the end of the game. So I can remake a bunch of remakes into 5 costs, which could be apprentices, crowns, distant lands, duchies maybe. So by this point in the game, one idea from Dominion veteran Mick Seanock was he was asking why neither of us picked up a library. So I briefly thought about a library, but I don't know, the crown just seemed more attractive to me. I definitely see the library, right? Definitely see the library. It nullifies the ghost ship attack, and it lets you draw your actions in the order you want to draw it. Definitely see the usefulness of the library, but I don't know. I prefer to go after crowns on apprentices here. I mean, the apprentices is so nice, especially when you start to trash big stuff for draw. It's very, very nice. So my opponent picks up a few things there. And at this point we have to start being careful about the piles. Because there's only 2 remakes left and 5 smugglers, and we have remakes and smugglers in our decks. So, you know, the piles can go quite quickly. He gets a couple apprentices on his last turn, and I'm all too happy to smuggle one here. Actually only have the one, right? Remember I trashed my second one earlier. I do like to play with 2 up front if I'm going for a deck that uses apprentice for draw at the end. 2 or 3 is a nice number to have, so I do put back in that one apprentice, and the thought here is, well, between crown and apprentice. I go for the crown and I pick up a talisman on 4 because I'm forced to remake the silver. I don't want to buy a remake or gain a remake because it gives him the option of smuggling remake and maybe going for some kind of 3 pile. So I pick up the talisman. Talisman also gives me a little bit of control with the pile. So for example, the remake pile can disappear with just $4, one of which has to be a talisman. So I don't think the talisman is too terrible there. At the very worst, it's remake fodder or apprentice fuel. So not a good turn for my opponent, or right, a small turn for my opponent. I say that because I've been expecting him to. He's thinner than me, so I expected him to like be going through his deck and doing all sorts of shenanigans by this point, but I haven't seen any of that. I guess I've been fortunate in that regard. He remakes a couple of things here, picks up a talisman of his own, right? So here I'm gonna get rid of this remake, and I know there's not a lot of good cards left in my deck. I saw all of the good ones in the first half of the shuffle, and here you see the disadvantage of not fully going through the sad phase of the apprentice trashing. Right, these coppers come back to bite me. Well, you saw that before when I trashed that farming village and I drew the 3 coppers. Awful, awful. So I'm gonna be very, very careful here and not remake into any 5 cost or any remake, because that switches off my opponent's smugglers. He can only smuggle silver, and I'm happy to give him silvers here. So I'm not going to turn my remake into anything or my silver or smugglers into anything there. deliberately so because I want to switch off my opponent's smugglers. The game is very, very close to ending. It's 4 apprentices, 4 crowns. There's a couple remake players away from finishing, and he has the talisman lurking, so I have to be very, very cautious. He also has that 1 point. That 1 point advantage. He's been taunting me with that for a long time, right? So all he has to do is empty piles, whereas I have to empty piles plus pick up a duchy. Right, now picking up duchy is scary here. Because you pick up 1 duchy, you buy 1 duchy, your opponent smuggles 4 back. Same thing with distant lands, right? So you have to be very, very careful of the piles here. Anything you touch, like my opponent could potentially smuggle 4 of it. So if I picked up an apprentice there, he could just smuggle 3 of them. That pile is empty. Buy the remakes with the talisman, gone. Go. So I have to be very careful. Fortunately, though, my opponent doesn't have a lot of money in his deck. Doesn't have a lot of money. He does crown his smugglers here, picking up silver. That's the only thing he could pick up. And here he crowns last card Apprentice. I'm not sure if he meant to do this because he overdraws by quite a bit here, and he's forced to trash something from his hand. I believe the talisman he trashes. And here he does something which I disagree with. He, at some point here, is going to remake into a crown. And remaking it into the crown turns on my smugglers. It means I have some ideas now of piling the game here on the crowns because I can use the smugglers to gain those. I mean, it's hard for me to say what he should do here. Maybe he should just pick up silver, and then we could go for provinces from there, right? Like, it's so scary to pick up any 5 cost on the board. Well, maybe not any. Right, so maybe like the Ilgot game is scary. But the duchies, the distant lands, I'm happy to smuggle it. Here you see the crown gain, and he gets rid of his estate too, so that makes it even easier for me to pile. And he only has 4 money, actually. He just picks up a silver with it, but like I said, getting the crown there, I don't like him getting the crown there. It opens up a lot of opportunity for me here. I do have the 2 smugglers, I have some crowns. I could get there. So here, fun time for you now, exercise time. So you could pause the video at several points. So here, what is your play? Well, this is pretty obvious, right? I choose to crown my apprentice. I'm gonna trash the farming village. I spent an age on this turn, by the way. An age, but at least it gives you some time to think while you're looking at the video. So, right, crown an apprentice, and here, what is your play here? Pause the video, think about it, and then come back. My play is to kill the crown because I need draw. I need to overdraw, I believe, or draw, or see my good cards, and I know, yeah, I don't have the greatest deck in the world right now. So here, this is the interesting point, right? This is the, well, no, not quite, not yet. Again, I'm going to trash the ghost ship. I don't need that. It doesn't give me anything useful to remake into. And here's the interesting point. Pause the video if you like and try to see if you could find the win here. For an extra challenge, try to see if you can find the win if he still had the estate. Like I said, it took me a proper age to think about how to end the game here, but I actually have it in hand. I was thinking about what the top card of my deck is, because I was thinking of something, okay, maybe I could remakes, pick up apprentices, and then draw the apprentices with the farming village, and crown smugglers to get more crowns, and I don't know, some convoluted thing, but really I do have the win in hand, and the win is, well, one of the solutions to the problem is I crown remake. Crown remake, I can trash 2 silvers into the last 2 remakes, trash 2 remakes into 2 crowns, smuggle the last crown, and then buy an estate with the money in hand, talisman and copper. So that's my solution. What's yours? You could let me know in the comment section below. But that is the end of game 1. Very scary game with smugglers just gaining left, right, and center, and remake being able to do some shenanigans as well. So yeah, when you play with smugglers, both of you all, you have to like pay attention. I was pretty happy that I turned off my opponent's smugglers on that too. And you see here how him turning on my smugglers actually allows me an opportunity to win the game here. So thank you for watching, and I will see you in game 2. Turns out the top card of the deck was Farming Village, which was good for me. Alright, thanks. See you.